everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to show you how to make 2 cards using the April stamp of the month called Message in a Bottle. You can get this stamp set for $5 with any $50 purchase, or for free if you're a VIP with a $50 purchase. Okay, so it has all kinds of cute images of bottles with corks and messages that you can put inside the bottles. Okay, so for the first card, I'm going to use some Cake Day papers and mix-ins and some of this UV coated cardstock. And embellishments are the Cake Day dots and the gold embellishing thread. I'm going to follow pattern number 28 from Make It From Your Heart Volume 2. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and give you the cut dimensions because this is an older design book. So in case you don't have it, the base is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm using some of this mix-in paper that has little sayings on it. And I'm going to use the light side of Wild Berry. And I need 2 pieces cut at 1 3/4 by 4. And then I'm going to be doing some stamping on these 2 pieces. And then I need this piece of Cake Day, and it's going to be cut at 1 1/2 by 4. I'll bring in my UV coated paper, and I'm going to cut this at 2 1/2 inches square. And then this piece of mix-in, I'm going to cut at 2 1/4 inches square. And then the flip side of that, I'm going to cut at 3/4 by 5 1/2. So this is also a mix-in pattern paper. And then I'll bring another one in later on. But this is the basic pattern right here. Okay. All right, let's do some stamping. So I'm going to bring in some scratch paper, and I'm going to stamp tone on tone on the light side of Wild Berry. I have this heart image, and you could make it look like it's inside a bottle, but I'm going to use it to decorate some and create some pattern paper with it. So I'm just taking the heart and doing it right side up and flipping it around and stamping it upside down, and I'm just going to keep going down this strip of paper like that, and I'll do 2 of them, and then just stamp off the edge of your cardstock to make it look like it's a continuing pattern. Okay, so I have 2 of those done. Now I'm going to stamp my bottle. I'm stamping in intense black ink, and then I'm going to bring in some toffee, and I'm going to stamp my little piece of parchment that's hanging inside of the bottle, and then the cork. And then I'm going to bring in some shortbread, and if you squeeze the pad, you can create kind of a palette, and I'm using a watercolor brush because I just want a light wash of shortbread to kind of color that parchment paper. And then I'm going to bring in my heat tool real quick and make sure it's dry before I stamp my message. And then I'll stamp my message in intense black, and it says, "Make every day count." So cute. And then I'm going to fussy cut it, so I'll skip ahead in just a second. So I'm just going to trim around the edges here. All right, now we can start building the card. And we'll just put our base piece down with Tombow tape runner. And then the easiest way to do this pattern is to line up your card on your Versamat and use the measurements and find the center and start with that middle piece. So you put your middle piece down first, and then you leave a little border around the edges, and then you can put those 2 outside pieces down. And it's a little easier way to make sure that your whole pattern is centered on your card. Okay, this is when I decided that I wanted some more of this pattern paper to create kind of a strip that goes down the center of that yellow strip. So I'm reading the messages on here just to see where I want to trim. And then I'm going to trim that. It's about 1/2 inch by 5.5 inches. So I'm going to put this yellow pattern paper down first. It's lemonade. So I'll place that down, and then I'm going to place the black pattern paper on top of that. Okay. And I'm going to attach this pattern paper to my UV coated paper. And then I'm going to pop that with some foam tape. And I'll add my bottle on top of that. And then for the last touch, I have some of this gold embellishing thread, and I'm going to create a little tangle and put it under that corner. And there's my finished card. So cute. Lots of bright colors. Make every day count. Very cute. Okay, let's make another card. So now I'm going to use pattern number 27 from the same book. So I'll just bring in my trimmer, and my base is going to be 4 1/4 by 5.5, and this is mix-in paper. And then I'm going to bring in the light side of lemonade. I'm going to cut 2 strips at 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/4. I'm going to create some pattern paper out of this with my stamps. And then this is some more of that UV coated paper. It's in Lagoon. So I'm going to cut that at 4 1/4 by 2.5. And a piece of black at 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. And I'm spinning this around because the corners are kind of crunched, so I want a clean corner there. And then some pattern paper from the Mix-In collection at 3 by 2. Okay, so that's my basic pattern. Now I'm going to do some stamping. So these 2 pieces of lemonade, it's the light side of lemonade. I'm going to stamp in Sundance. And this design, it's really meant to go inside a bottle, but I'm going to stamp it on this strip of lemonade to make it look like pattern paper. So I'm just inking up right where the pattern really starts. And then I'm using some masking paper so I can continue with that pattern along this strip. So I'm going to do both strips of lemonade, and then I've colored in those stars with a tri-blend marker. Okay, now I'm going to stamp on White Daisy. I'm using intense black ink, and I'm going to stamp this bottle twice. Okay. And then I'm going to bring the same star pattern in. I'm going to stamp in Lagoon, and I'm going to stamp it inside one of the bottles. And then off camera, I colored in the stars with the tri-blend. And then for the other bottle, well, first I need to do the corks. So for the other bottle, I'm going to stamp this rolled up piece of parchment image in toffee along with the cork. And again, I'm going to do a little wash of shortbread to color the parchment. And then I'm going to stamp in, after I dry it off, I'm going to stamp in intense black the message that says, "Believe in yourself." So cute. Okay, and then off camera, I will fussy cut both of these bottles out. Okay, now it's time to start assembling. So I have an A2 base, a card base, and just put everything down with Tombow tape runner. So we'll start with this piece of mix-in. We'll place it down. And it's the same basic process. If you use the measurements on your Versamat and find the center of your card, then you can place this piece in the middle and then work around it. So I have this piece of UV coated Lagoon cardstock, and then those two strips that I stamped on either side. And then I'll assemble this panel, attach the mix into the black, and then I'll pop the black with foam tape. And then I'm going to add the two bottles. So cute. The stamp set is fun. Once you start working with it, there's so many possibilities. I like the bright colors of these cards. Okay, so I thought I was finished here, but then I decided to add some of these Cake Day dots at the base there. Just wrote something a little extra. So those are in Lemonade. There. Now it looks finished. Okay, and there's my finished card. So cute. So all these supplies are currently available in my online store. I'll make a list with links in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And then you'll be able to find all of my videos, and I have quite a few in the library there. And thanks for watching.